December 28th, the second last show of 2023 as we get ready to head into the new year here. And we got 4 games on the NHL schedule tonight, so we will break down all of tonight's games. We'll go through all of those. If you guys have any questions in the chat, please feel free to send them in there throughout the course of the show today. We'll do our best to answer them, whether they're about the games tonight, if they're about So Money's Vancouver Canucks, if they're about futures bets you're looking to place or have already placed, make sure to send them in there. We'll try to answer those throughout the course of the show today. But before we can get into any of that, I want to remind people that today's show, as always, is sponsored by BetStamp. The easiest way to improve as a sports bettor is by using multiple sports books and always getting the best odds. We recommend using an odds comparison tool like BetStamp to help you do so. BetStamp compares odds across every sports book, whether that's for games, futures, or player props. You can save time and money by checking BetStamp before you bet. So make sure to download the app today. It is available in iOS, Android, as well as on the web. If you are looking to sign up for a new sportsbook account as well, please check out the offers available at betstamp.app/edgework. That's betstamp.app/edgework. The link is in the description of the show as well, so check that out. But boys, let's get into the games here tonight. Before we do, So Money, Russ, how are your breaks? So Money, the Vancouver Canucks, first place at Christmas. It's got to feel pretty good, a present in its own.
It does. It does. It's and I also listened to afterwards. I listened to yesterday's show where you go where you were talking about the first place Canucks and how they're not going to win the cup and all that nonsense.
What? Whoa. Let's not. No, I did not say they're not going to win the cup. Russ, I don't know if you caught yesterday's show. For context, I said that the last team to be in first place at Christmas and win the Stanley Cup. Do you know who that was, Russ?
No, I missed that.
It was the 2007-2008 Detroit Red Wings. So all I was saying is there's not like there's not like a clear path here of this happening frequently. That's all I was saying. I was not saying they won't win So Money.
So all I heard was that the Canucks won't win the cup, and it was a personal attack on me, right?
Okay.
Now the only thing with that is that fine, right? Like Canucks are first overall, but there's this contention of they don't have the most percentage points, right? So in that situation, if you're going to talk about that record, then the Rangers are first overall, right?
Okay, there you go.
Right. So for our purposes, the Canucks are first overall, right? Mm-hmm. But for the curse or whatever, it's the Rangers that are first overall.
So we're going to flip it back. Now this is Alber's problem to deal with, and his Rangers aren't going to win the cup because technically they're in first place. Well, look, I saw the stat. I thought it was an interesting one because, we've talked about we're not trend guys, but, sometimes you can look at some of these and find some of those interesting. I thought that one might be interesting for you, So Money. I thought that was only one you want to be aware of, at least.
Yeah, it made me laugh.
Yeah. Russ, how was your holidays, your Christmas break?
Good, man. Yeah, good here. It was, it's been very warm. I've been golfing up in all December, and then the last week we got like 6 inches of snow, up to a foot of snow all across the state. So no more golf and some bad traveling weather, but that's to be expected. Everything other than that was good. Christmas dinner was good. Brother made some delicious prime rib. I mean, all the food was phenomenal. Got to see the family. So no complaints at all, man. The Avs still can't be trusted. This team is just struggling. I don't even know what to make of it. Hopefully they make a couple moves before the trade deadline that really locks them in, and they start to get serious about this. But man, I do not want to touch this team with a 10-foot pole right now. I would not be betting on the Avs. They're just so inconsistent. But other than that, all is well.
All right, well, fair enough. And I mean, I'm sorry about all the snow that's come in lately. I obviously have to deal with that here for the most part throughout the course of the winter. I was saying to you before the show, I haven't quite had that yet. But honestly, once you told me the golf part, which you didn't tell me before the show, I'm not as sorry because I had to stop golfing in like September. So that was just an absolute dagger there.
It's been great the last 2 weeks, but yeah, I'm not going to sit here and complain about snow to a couple of Canadians. So
Fair enough. All right, well, let's get into today's games. We got 4 ahead of us. We'll break each of them down, or at least get Russ and So Money's thoughts on those, see where they're at, if they've got anything that they might want to bet on in each of those games. Before we do, if you guys do want to track all the picks that are given out on the show, we'll obviously recap everything from a daily perspective at the end of each show, go through every one of our bets. But aside from that, if you want to see the picks that we've given out week by week, day by day, or throughout the course of just this season, or even dating back to last year, you can find that in the BetStamp app in the Find Better section as Edgework HQ, where you'll see, if you sort it out for this year, at least even, you'll see 151, 143, and 3 over 287 bets. We've got a 7.5% ROI and just continued to build on that. Yesterday we go 5, 4, and 1. Double winner there in the Seattle, where we get the under, as well as Seattle money line. The unfortunate push in New Jersey, Columbus there as 3-2 Columbus late, and then Luke Hughes goes hero mode, coast to coast, and scores to tie it up. That was gonna hurt us there, obviously, at the under 7, and then just a couple other games. The Washington New York one under 5.5 finishes 5-1. You get the 6.5, but a couple other winners. So, not a bad day. Continue to contribute to a successful season so far for us here, but let's start today's show off right with the Montreal-Carolina game. Carolina hosting the Canadiens tonight, currently sitting at minus 250. The Habs plus 221 and a total of 6.5 right now. So, Money, what are your thoughts on where this game currently sits at, whether it be a side or total?
Yeah, so with all Habs games lately, on a 6.5 total, you do have to look under. Concern here, of course, is that as you've touched on earlier, the Carolina team, they don't play the same team defense that we're accustomed to this season, and also their goaltending isn't up to par, right? And now on a second game of a back to back, it just exasperates the goaltending problem as well, right? So I do like the under up to minus 120. I still trust that. Montreal, even though lately they have been kind of a little bit leaky defensively, I still think that they do want to play that defensive game. And Carolina, I would assume, knowing on a going on a back to back, they'll be looking to tighten it up here as well. I believe it'll be Primo in goal. Not ideal. Oh, there you go. Yeah, not ideal, but I mean at 6.5 with the way that where I suspect these teams would want to play here defensively, I'm still on the under here.
Okay, so there's a bunch of minus 120s out there, as well as at Pinnacle, there's minus 117. So we'll lock in minus 117 against the Pinnacle line. But if you are looking good up to minus 120, they're under 6.5, and they are widely available. Russ, what are your thoughts on this game? Is there any way you're getting involved in this one other than maybe with So Money's total?
Yep. No, I don't have a ton here. I thought this number was right on market. It's about right where I have it. Yeah, there's a couple of interesting things going on. It looks like we do have Primo in goal, but on the flip side, I believe they're going to go with Ranta for the Hurricanes. He's been sent down, then he was brought back up, and yeah, he's so untrustworthy. He has been terrible this year, so that's a huge question mark for me. But obviously, the Hurricanes are playing well and playing good defense. They want to play a low event game. So honestly, I've got nothing here. I was right on market with the price and with the goalie situation in Carolina. I will happily pass and just kind of root for an under.
Fair enough. Well, we'll continue to move on here. Next up, we've got the LA Kings and the Vegas Golden Knights, currently seeing Vegas hosting the Kings minus 102 there, and you see the Kings at minus 105. A total of 6 on some books, 6.5 on some others there. Russ, what are your thoughts on where this game is at right now?
Yeah, we played the Kings at plus money last night. I figured it would move a little bit with the goalie information. I think up to minus 110, minus 115 is a fine price on the Kings on the road here. Yeah, a couple things when looking at the handicap of this game. these teams are fairly close to even when you look at the overall stats for this season. The Kings have the edge in a couple of different metrics. But then you look at the last 10 games or last 15 games, and the Kings have been much better than the Knights here. And if you're looking, if you're worried about on the road, the Kings are 13-1 on the road. They've just been playing great hockey away from home. And then this is again a very confusing goalie situation. I thought that I was confused why the Knights started Logan Thompson last night and didn't go with Gigi Patera last night. And they started Logan Thompson and they got absolutely dominated by the Ducks again last night. So we should see. And the Kings did the flip thing, right? They started Dave Rittich last night, and they're going to start Talbot tonight, I believe. And this is again, I want to attack this Gigi Patera kid. He not a huge sample size, but what we've seen so far has not been great. I don't think he's probably a true number 2 goalie in the NHL, at least yet. He's only played 6 total games. He's got a 3.49 expected goals against average. So this is just one of those things where you have pretty similar teams. One team has been playing very well in the Kings. One team is kind of middling in the Knights. But then you have a huge advantage in goal for me. So I've got this number significantly higher than the plus 105 that we played, or even the minus 105. So I'll happily roll with the hot team here and lock in the Kings right at that number. Mute.
So, Money, any thoughts for you on this game here?
Yeah, I completely agree with Russ here on the Kings. I think that we're looking at a Kings team, as Russ mentioned, that is playing at a really high level. And Vegas, look, I'm not gonna rag on a team that just won a Stanley Cup, right? Like in my books, you can get away with a lot once you have a ring, right? So basically, Vegas can do whatever they want the whole season, and I'm not gonna say anything about them. They are playing poorly right now. We saw in the post game comments, Alec Martinez was saying that how the team feels disconnected. Cassidy stands up and just, we need saves, right? So that kind of stuff, that's a leaking out into the public through the media. I mean, that's not a good sign, especially for a team with the pedigree now that Vegas has. Other concern is that there were some big minutes last night too for Vegas. You had Stone, Eichel, both over 20, 22, 23 minutes last night, and they're going on a back-to-back again in a very tough game against the Kings. I think that I'll be on the Kings as well. Yeah, I think those, and Russ touched on the goaltending. Cassidy did as well. So yeah, I think I'll be on the Kings here as well.
All right. Now we'll obviously lock that in there. Minus 105 on the LA Kings. Best price available in market right now. Continue to move on. So, Money, we'll talk about your Vancouver Canucks here now, going up against the Philadelphia Flyers. I know Russ sent some stuff over. He's got some thoughts on this game as well, but I'll let you give us a little preview of this matchup here tonight for the Canucks, where the market's pushed it to right now. You can see the Canucks best price available minus 157. You see the Flyers plus 142, a total of 6 on a book like Pinnacle. What are your thoughts on where things have been shaped to right now? So, Money?
Oh, yeah, I mean, I think sorry, I thought you were going to Russ there.
No, we defer to you on the all
on the Canucks, yeah.
Yeah. So a couple of notes here before that. Before that wild game against the Red Wings, Philadelphia was profiling as an under team. I think they were trying to limit their chances, trying to kind of play a more towards-ish style. I think that was Carter Hart's first game back as well. So I think those kind of things combined to kind of make that a bit of a wild game. So I do think the Flyers want to get back to their kind of defensive structure here. Canucks. What can you say about the Canucks? Right? They could possibly go down this season as one of the best teams of all time. Right? So I think we gotta be we got to be cognizant of that when we're looking at their prices as well. Even though they look a bit inflated. How much can the best team ever be inflated, right? So I think that the Canucks as well, right? Like they do want to play. They do want to play defensively as well. The much more responsible team. The problem with the Canucks, and not really a problem, but like in terms of where I want to bet this game, is that they can score in bunches. They have, and even though the shooting percentage is higher than average, and we do hear about that, they do have good finishers on this team as well, right? So even though the shooting percentage will dip, it's not going to be to a point where this team just can't score anymore, right? That said, plus money unders on the six is what I did target. We still have that. I know those there were some 6.5s. You could do that, but I think in this situation, where I had this game lined, I think that the that the plus money six is what I'll be playing.
All right, so there's plus 102s there, all the way around. Bunch of plus 100s on the under six. So we'll lock that in for this Canucks Flyers game. Russ, I did tease a little bit. You had some thoughts. Where do you kind of come in on this Flyers side tonight?
Yeah, I don't think we'll be able to lock anything in because of the complete uncertainty with Carter Hart. It seems like this dude just gets sick all the time. He's got, the immune system of a fourth grader, it seems like. Like, I was surprised to see the Canucks at minus 160, minus 165 this morning. I thought, looking at this overnight, I thought it would trend down, and we've kind of hit a stopping point. So I do like the Flyers here at plus 142. Like I said, I don't think we're able to play it because of the uncertainty in the goalie for the Flyers, especially with the big game tomorrow night. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they went with Urson tonight and then maybe saved Hart for the game tomorrow night, just because it seems like a bigger game, but obviously the Canucks are a much better opponent. So it's just this Flyers team has been very frustrating with all the goalie switch ins, switch outs. And there's a huge difference between Hart and Urson, to be honest. It's not like some of these other teams where I'm not really concerned with who's in goal. I don't want to be playing on Samuel Urson at this point. I need to have Carter Hart. But yeah, just a few things under the hood here. I have this game closer to Vancouver minus 130 ish. I think that the price is a little bit long on them. You look in some of the metrics the last 15 games, which is the last month or so. The Flyers are ahead of the Canucks in a couple different metrics. The only couple that concern me are the Flyers' power play has been terrible, 32nd in the league in power play percentage, which is a huge concern against this Vancouver team who wants to play defense, who wants to play a low event game. And the Flyers are the Canucks are really good at home this year. 13-3 at home, and they've won 5-0 on their last 5 at home. So, I think this is kind of a bad travel spot for the Flyers, even though they've had some rest. They have been playing decent on the road, but there's a couple of things that kind of lead me to passing on this game. If we do get Carter Hart confirmed in net and the price stays right around plus 140, I'll probably have a half a unit or so on it or lock it in fully. But yeah, there's a few things that give me pause about playing this Flyers team right now, and especially the Carter Hart thing is just so untrustworthy. And I would way rather wait to get that confirmation and miss a couple of points of value than to lock in a bet and get Samuel Urson confirmed here. So I like the Flyers if we get Hart, but I just can't play it right at this moment. So I think keep it monitored, and if it stays right around plus 140 and you get Hart, I think there's value in that play.
All right, so the only thing we'll lock in as of right now is the under six, the plus money under six is in that game. But as Russ says, kind of be aware at the 142 there, see some, as long as you're going to get Carter Hart, and even with like a couple points coming off there, as long as it's around that point, if Carter Hart is in, And there's some pretty good comments in the chat
Yeah,
here.
some of these comments are good. Long COVID.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, Carter, long COVID. Need some mornings with OJ and some
Yeah.
ginger turmeric
I mean,
shots.
I just don't understand. It seems like this dude's always sick.
This is the best one for me. Hart has been like every corporate slave since Thanksgiving, taking PTO and mailing it in until 2024. That's the best comment there. All right. Well, so only one play in that one. So we'll just lock that in. But final game of the night here that we'll look at for today, the San Jose Sharks hosting the Edmonton Oilers. San Jose plus 341. You see the Oilers coming in minus 390, best price available, and a total of 7 right now that it would be juiced to the under. You see plus 112 on the over, minus 126 on the under there. So money, is this maybe a spot where you're willing to get disgusting tonight?
No, no. Um, so we, I did get disgusting last night with Anaheim,
Yes.
but but difference there is that we've identified Anaheim, and we talked about this last week as a team that we want to bet on, because of the guys returning, and I think that they have a better positive, a more positive outlook than what I have the Sharks here. The Sharks, I mean, they've gone back to who they were in the beginning of the season, where they're just back to giving up a ton of chances. Right? They had their run after the 2-10 goal embarrassments, but defensively they're struggling again quite a bit. And now you're playing an Oilers team that, regardless of the opponent, and regardless of the end result of the game, the Oilers are just running teams out of the building right now, right? So I think that, I there's no reason for me to not expect that to continue here. Um, but of course, what we always say, everyone has a price, right? So you look at you look at the number right now. We're into the 400s now on the Oilers. That's tough to see. But in this game, where I think that the Oilers, it's really one sided here, in the sense that this game will go however the Oilers want it to go, right? So
Right.
in that situation, I think that, reluctantly, a little bit, even though that's a really good number on the Sharks here, I will pass, just because I there's no reason to get in front of the Oilers right now.
What about you, Russ? You feel like this might be an opportunity to get disgusting?
Nope. I mean, maybe a couple weeks ago I would have taken a shot at this price, but yeah, so many kind of nailed it. It's two teams going in the complete opposite directions at this point. San Jose's lost 6 in a row, and the Oilers are playing really well. They've won 10 of their last 13 games, and they're playing good defense. Despite what they're getting in goaltending, they're playing really good defense. So normally this San Jose team is an under team for me, and I would kind of lean that way whenever they play. They just can't generate anything. But I could see I could see the Oilers putting up 6 or 7 goals here. They've been playing so well. So I think this price is probably a little long. I mean, obviously the minus 400s, minus 420s, that's crazy. But you can't get in front of this Oilers team, and especially not with a San Jose team that has gone back to the beginning of the season form, losing 6 in a row. In pretty bad fashion. So yeah, I think this is going to be a pass for me. It's just one of those ugly games, and I don't have the gall to get involved in this one at all. So
All right, well, that'll do it for today's show, for today's games. That is all four there. As for the picks that we given out here, do recap them at the very end. So it does appear that there seems to be some slight issue here with BetStamp in the app right now. But as for our bets for tonight, we will still recap all of them. So if you guys might have to help me out here on where we're at for the first ones, but we are looking at the LA Kings money line minus 105 there, as well as the under 6 plus 102 in Vancouver. And then there was one more, the first game, the Montreal Carolina game. Someone, I believe you were taking the under 6.5 there at minus 117.
Yeah.
All right.
So under 6.5, and up to -120 there.
All right, so those are the three: the under 6.5, -117, up to -120 in Carolina, Montreal. The LA Kings money line -105, and then the under 6 +102 in the Vancouver Philadelphia game as well. In that Vancouver Philadelphia game, if you're watching throughout the course of the day, Russ does kind of like the Philadelphia side, but still waiting on the confirmation of Carter Hart there. So that'll do it for today's show. If you did enjoy the content, please make sure to like the stream here today, subscribe to the Edgework channel as well. If you are looking for more content throughout the course of the day, there is plenty coming up across the hammer. More Hit the Book shows coming up. Never Punt, Never Parlay coming up later today. Circles Off, new episode coming out. New Forward Progress, Player Props, Market Watch for this weekend, as well as some potential Survivor teams. If you're still in a pool and you're looking for some advice, check that out over on Forward Progress. And then finally, tonight, Rob will be doing a watch along on the Forward Progress channel for the Thursday night football game. So make sure to check that out. Thanks to everyone who tuned in here today. Greatly appreciate it. Russ, So Money, thank you guys for taking the time to do this as always. For everyone else, we'll see you guys back here tomorrow morning, 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. Enjoy the games tonight. Good luck on your bets.